This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI Studios in Toronto, Canada.
Hey Toronto, this is Ed Sheeran.
This is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
This is Adele.
This is Madonna.
It's Michael Bublé, and you're listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep Show. It's fun. They're amazing.
It's that time of year again. It is TIFF 50, the 50th Toronto International Film Festival. Isn't that crazy?
It is. And not to mention how many stars have come to Toronto, how many films have premiered here. I mean, it's become such a huge festival for a number of years now, but to celebrate 50 years is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, we thought we'd bring you a special, unique podcast for TIFF because Pooja and I, we've been lucky enough through our 20-plus year career to be around celebrities in different capacities, and some of the stories are, frankly, too long and maybe not appropriate for the regular Pooja and Gurdeep show, so we're bringing them to you here on a special podcast.
Yeah, you know what? I will say that the nice thing about celebrities, for the most part, they're just regular people, you know.
Some of them.
For the most part,
yeah.
Right? And and I've found over the years that whenever we had somebody who was sort of like an A-lister, they were always the kindest, didn't really have much of an entourage, the most down to earth. And then when you got to like the D-listers, they were the ones with the most, you know, going on. A lot of
the writers.
divas and divos and a lot of that. And it's interesting how that was the case. But for the most part, they're just human, like us.
Yeah, maybe overcompensating a little if you're lower on the totem pole. We've all been guilty of it. Okay, so we thought we'd share some celebrity stories here. I'll come right off the hop with one here. And it's funny because most of mine have to do with, we don't talk about this much on the show, but I dabble in the acting world. Mm-hmm. So I feel fraudulent calling myself an actor because I only do roles. You know when you're watching a movie or TV show and they'll cut away to like a newscast because something is happening in some action show? I often play the news anchor or the reporter, and it's often quick scenes. If you blink, you might miss me. It's like a 3-second cutaway, or someone's in a hospital room and the TV's up in the corner and I'm just on there blabbing.
Well, I notice, and then all of our friends notice. Everybody's probably always texting you when they see you in a movie. People text me, they're like, I saw Gurdeep in this movie. And like, how many movies have you been in now?
I've currently got 16 credits on IMDb over the last decade or so. And I don't even know when stuff comes out. It's like I'll get tweets or texts, people being like, hey, I saw you in Murderbot on Apple TV. I'm like, oh, I guess that's out. Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. So Hollywood has moved to work for these small roles. They'll often hire an actual news reporter or news anchor instead of an actor to deliver 1 or 2 lines because it'll be more authentic. If it's a doctor in a hospital scene who has a line, they'll often hire a real doctor instead of an actor because it might come across more authentic. That's the pivot Hollywood's made, and I've benefited from getting to be in some stuff.
So you're not really acting, you're just being yourself.
Yes, that's why I say I feel fraudulent. If you needed me to emote or cry or something, like I don't think I could actually do that. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to this one movie I was in called Miss Sloane. And I think my scene actually got cut from this. I don't know if it actually ever made it, but here's what we filmed. So I was nervous for this one because usually my scenes are what I call in a vacuum. You're in front of a green screen, you're on a news desk, you're delivering a monologue and you're done, or you're reporting on scene and it just involves me. This scene was me actually interviewing for a quote-unquote political talk show another actor.
Okay.
And so I get to set. This whole industry's hurry up and wait. You get like an 8 a.m. call time and you rush there and then you sit in your trailer for hours and then they call you to set several hours later after you've been eating all day in your trailer and going over your lines. So my scene was with this lovely British actress named Gugu Mbatha Raw. And I get to set and we sit down on a couch and I'm this political talk show host that's meant to be grilling her on some topic. And if you're listening to this right now and you don't know who I'm talking about, you know who Gugu Mbatha-Raw is. Google her.
She was in the morning show.
She was in the morning show.
Yep.
She's
in a bunch of things.
She was in a Black Mirror episode.
Mm-hmm.
She is absolutely beautiful. Like stunning.
Gorgeous.
And I walk into the room and I'm like, hamana. And we sit there on the couch. And again, there's a lot of hurry up and wait. So while they're getting this shot all dressed and set, her and I are just chatting like about, she has a British accent. She's visiting. She's here in Toronto to shoot this. She doesn't know much about the city. I had Googled her and seen that we were like pretty much the exact same age. So I start talking to her about Toronto, and she starts asking me questions about where to go and what to do on her off days. And me being Toronto guy, I'm making restaurant recommendations, neighborhood recommendations, telling her about Kensington Market, all the spots to go.
You're like, I like long walks on the beach, like that kind of thing.
Absolutely. So
I'm an Aries.
And I swear, Pooja, when she's looking at me, there's like a twinkle in her eye, and I'm like, oh my God, she's into me. This girl's so beautiful. I'm not even thinking about the scene we have to shoot. I'm thinking like, as soon as this is done, I'm going to ask her out. I'm going to play the, I'm from Toronto card. Let me show you around. And I'll get in there, and then we'll be dating and we'll live happily ever after. It's perfect. And so we do a couple of takes of the scene and whatever. And, in the scene, it's such an intense scene. She's like looking into my eyes and I'm looking at her. And all I'm thinking while we're filming, because I'd memorized my lines, I'm not even thinking about my lines or playing the thing. I'm just thinking like, oh my God, she's so hot. I can't wait to ask her out. Here's what I'm going to... I'm just thinking about our date and our future together.
And she's giving you the vibes?
I thought so. She was giving me the vibes. Like she was her eyes were burning into my soul. And we do maybe 3 or 4 takes. And as soon as the director's like, okay, that's a cut. I think we got it. I turn towards her to make my move. And she is up and off the couch and out of that room so fast. No goodbye, no handshake, no fist pound, no how's the rest of your day.
What about the twinkle in her eye?
She's an actress. She was acting.
Oh.
She's an actress. I'm an idiot. I thought she was flirting with me. I thought there was something. It was just her being a professional doing her scene. I thought about it. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go to her trailer and and ask her out because there was then I'm like, no, that's probably like harassment at that point. So I packed up my stuff and I went back to my regular life and I never saw her again. And,
I so wish you just asked her out anyway, just so I could hear the story about.
I had to wait till
I
wasn't mic'd up. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh, I love that because you're not an actor. You weren't even able to clock that that's what was going on. That she was just so into the scene, not into you.
Like in hindsight, as I tell you the story, I realize how stupid it seems now and how obviously she was acting. But I swear in the moment, it felt real.
I mean, she's a great actress, clearly.
She's a great actress.
Dedicated to her craft.
That's the moment I knew I was not an actor. All right, what do you got?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so over the years, I've probably interviewed, I don't know, hundreds of celebrities, and some of them big names, some of them not so much. One of the bigger ones was Jake Gyllenhaal. And you remember this because we worked together.
I do.
And everybody was just like, oh my gosh, Jake Gyllenhaal is coming on the show. And he was here to promote Southpaw.
The boxing movie, right.
Yeah. And so, I watched the movie. I did all my research, as I always do. Wrote out all my questions. And, I've seen him in other interviews. He's got a great sense of humor. He's really charming, good-looking guy. And I was expecting him to show up with a whole entourage. He did not. He actually came just himself. And I think maybe one publicist, which was, really nice to see, really down-to-earth guy. I got so nervous that I actually, developed a hive on my face. At one point I looked in the mirror and I'm like, what is this? Why do I have hives on my face?
It looked like you were in a boxing movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That went away. We sat down. We started talking. We have a short amount of time to speak before we go live. So it was, just a lot of small talk, which, as you know, I'm not very good at, but it was all fine. We get into the interview. Of course, I ask him about the film. He did all of his own scenes, his own fighting scenes. He didn't have a stunt double in for him.
He took his own punches.
He did, yeah. And so the interview is actually going really well.
Okay.
And I'm getting extra time in my ear. The director's love this, keep going,
right.
Which normally I only get 3 to 4 minutes. So this was extra time because it's Jake Gyllenhaal,
amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's going really well. And I guess I got a little too confident in how well it was going.
Oh, no.
That I started to get a little, I don't know, just a little more friendly.
A little cheeky?
A little less less professional with the questions, a little bit more like, oh, maybe this is a good time to throw in a fun question.
You didn't ask him out, did you?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm not you. I can read the room.
Touche.
Yes, and also married myself.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
yes.
he's not. But anyway, and I wasn't getting those vibes from him. But I decided to ask him, since he does his own fight scenes and he was actually getting punched in the face, after he answered that question, I said, you have to be careful. I said, your face is your moneymaker. And, maybe
You said that on air?
yeah. I said, your face is your moneymaker, and you got to be careful because you don't want to be messing up your face. Like, why couldn't you just use a stunt double? And, everybody was sort of laughing in the studio. He was not laughing. He said, he's like, my face is my moneymaker. He's like, and here I thought that my craft was my moneymaker. And I was like, yes, of course, because you're a really good actor. And I was just like, of course I was joking, but I don't really have that rapport with him. And maybe it wasn't a good idea to have the joke. And anyway, I just sort of like moved on to the next question, and then he was fine. But immediately I got off set. We took a picture together. He was very nice. He left. I got off set, checked Twitter. And I could just see all these people tweeting like, what was that? Why was he so rude to Pooja?
Oh, they were taking your side.
Yeah, they were like, it was
okay.
obviously a joke. She doesn't actually think that's his moneymaker.
Wow.
There was some of that, which was nice to at least get that. But in the end, I think the lesson learned was that I guess they take their jobs very seriously. As they should. It is their craft. It is something that they put their blood, sweat, and tears in. And in this case, real blood for him.
Yeah.
And maybe by my like sort of comment or my joke, I was in some way undermining that. And I didn't mean to.
I guess, he didn't want his life's work reduced down to, his face.
His moneymaker.
That's understandable, I guess, when you put it that way. That's dry. That's dry, but that's funny.
And I also didn't ask him for his number or offer to show him around Toronto, okay?
That's good. That's good. That's really good that you didn't do that. I don't recommend it. I got a quick one for you here. So one of the more notable films I was lucky enough to be in was Molly's Game.
Yes, I remember you in that. You actually had a big role in that one. You
big
more
might be
of
overselling it.
More speaking than just one line.
I think I had the last line of the movie. I'm like, oh, she'll be back. Oh, she'll be back.
That's 2 lines for the record.
I was a NBC sports commentator. If you've seen the movie, it's Jessica Chastain, Kevin Costner, and Jessica Chastain has this, she's this Olympic athlete, aspiring Olympic athlete. And in her trial, she crashes out on the ski hill. It was filmed at Blue Mountain, actually. And Kevin Costner's her dad, and he comes running through the crowd. There was all these extras to see if she's okay. And I'm the NBC commentator calling this race. And so we were supposed to shoot our scene. Again, it's a hurry up and wait industry. You get there for 9 a.m. Yes, you're in your trailer all day. You're on set. It's the middle of winter. We're about to shoot our scene. Aaron Sorkin, the guy who did The Social Network, he's the director. And we're finally about to do our scene. It's like 6 p.m. And as soon as they're about to call action, the lighting guy goes, hold on. And he's like, nope, it's too dark. Strike it down. Everyone come back tomorrow.
No.
And I'm like, tomorrow? I have to drive back. Like, I gotta go to work.
Anytime I've ever watched any movie and they're like, we're losing light, we're losing light. So I guess that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. And so I had to come back the next day and do it all over again, which I wasn't budgeting 2 days in my head for this. So we come back the next day. The call time's like 6 a.m. They want us on set. So I have to get a hotel. I go to sleep, wake up at 5 a.m., and, I'm groggy the next morning, and I go to the makeup trailer. I'm sitting there, and they treat you so well in that industry. They come, Mr. Ahluwalia, do you want, can I get you coffee?
They call you Mr. Ahluwalia?
I know. I'm like, what is it? Am I a teacher? Like, what is this? So
you're like, that's Mr. Alls to you.
Yeah, you shorten that, please. They bring me a coffee and a breakfast sandwich, and I'm sitting in the trailer getting makeup, half asleep. They're powdering my face, and I sense someone's presence beside me in the makeup chair. So in between blots of powder, I kind of just glance over. And the person beside me, also groggy, coffee in hand, glances over at me. We give each other the head nod. And I look back in the mirror and I'm like, that's Kevin Costner.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin Costner's in the makeup chair beside me, and we just gave each other the knowing head nod. He has no idea who I am.
You did the what's up without saying what's up, just like the chin nod.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the bloody bodyguard beside me.
Oh my gosh.
That's Kevin freaking Costner beside me. And at this moment, we're just two guys in a makeup chair who are tired, drinking a coffee, getting our makeup. It's like we were equals for a moment, but we're not because he's Kevin Costner and I'm me.
And then you wanted to talk to him about like guy liner and stuff.
I so wanted to make small talk, but I'm like, I just couldn't. I didn't have it in me. I felt like, is that what you feel like all the time?
All the time.
I didn't have it. I was going to be like, so nice dye.
I like makeup. What shade are you? Yeah, it's probably best that you didn't. So that whole moment that you were sitting there and staring in the mirror, weren't you thinking of things that you might want to say?
I was, and I could come up with nothing in that moment. That we had the head nod, and that was it. And then they actually snowmobiled us to set. We were on separate snowmobiles to get us to the top of the hill for the scene.
I wonder if he actually had more respect for you because in that moment you didn't ask for a picture, you didn't ask for an autograph, like you weren't fangirling, you weren't doing any of that.
I mean, look, we're just two Hollywood stars in the makeup.
It's true.
It's no big deal.
Two equals.
I mean, I'll see him next time.
Yeah.
At the next production.
He may have a bigger trailer than you, but still.
His trailer was massive. Yeah, I was in like a little cubicle of a trailer. He was in a big one.
Okay, there was another story that I remember, and this one was with Jason Momoa.
Oh,
and it was,
don't you have a huge crush on him?
I mean, who doesn't have a huge crush on him? You have a huge crush on him.
I mean, that's not really...
It's because he's huge.
He's a big dude. He's a lot of person.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He was on the show. This was after... I did not say that to him. This is like Aquaman. It was after that, and he was doing some other projects. And he was actually shooting here in Canada, and I remember I was like, oh my God, but like he's such a huge star. And plus he's like a heartthrob. Like every woman you talk to is in love with Jason Momoa for a reason, right? He's very handsome.
And he was often seen around like Kensington Market and Trinity Bell was just like biking around and making friends with people. I think that endeared him to a lot of folks in the city.
For sure. And, so before he came up on set, I just went in the green room, just introduced myself and say, oh, we're going to be chatting soon. Nice to meet you, that kind of thing. And I went in and he was like, oh, nice to meet you. We shook hands. And he's like, what are you going to ask me? And I said, oh, do you want to know what I'm going to ask in advance? He's like, I'm just so nervous. I'm so nervous. And I was like, you're Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
You're Aquaman. You're like, you've been in Game of Thrones. Like, you've done it all. How is an interview with me making you nervous?
Hasn't he done like 1 million interviews?
You would think, but it just goes to show how down to earth he really is. And he was just like one of these like, are you going to be asking me about this? Should I prepare? What should I do? And I was like,
very vulnerable.
There'll be no math questions. There'll be nothing like that. Like there's no skill testing questions here. And so I sort of went over it with him. He's like, okay. And so then he came up on set. We did the interview. He was fine. He shouldn't have been nervous about anything. He knew his stuff. He knew, I guess also for a lot of actors, they've shot these films or these series months ago, and then they're coming back to talk about it. So maybe some of it is also just recalling stuff that's happened on set and that kind of thing. So maybe that's where the nerves come in. But we had a great interview. It was great. And so great that at the end of it, he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, is it okay if I hug you? And I'm like, yes. And we got this amazing photo, which I still have.
The photo's great. I do. You look like a little giddy schoolgirl in that photo.
So giddy. He has his arm around me, and we look like we're taking a picture for prom. Like he's taking me to prom, and we are in high school, and I have it framed at home, and it's amazing. And it really was him going like, "Thank you."
Is it on your Instagram too?
It may be on my Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just put Steph on the spot here because I don't even know if we can do this, but I hear other podcasts doing it, and they say I'm gonna link it in the show notes. If there's an Instagram link, we'll see if we can link it in the show notes. And if it's not there, then I'm sorry, I lied. But we'll try to link it in the show notes. Check the show notes for the picture.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, but sure, let's do that. What else you got?
Okay, I got one that happened pretty recently. So Coffee the Pooch my dog has been lucky enough to like meet some A-listers and some celebrities, and she doesn't even know because dogs treat everyone the same. They're all humans. So 2 quick stories with Coffee the Pooch. I did bring her into work occasionally at our old job and onto some film sets when I'm in a pinch and I don't have a dog sitter. So at our last job, I had her sitting at my desk with me, and she skirted away and ran into the green room. And I go, oh no, who's in the green room? Let me run. And I go into the green room ready to apologize to whoever's in there. And on his hands and knees, rubbing Coffee's belly, is the lead singer of the group Hanson, Taylor. Hanson was in for an interview, three brothers. And I go, oh, I'm so sorry. And he goes, oh my gosh, no, I love your dog. I got dogs at home. And I ended up chatting with the lead singer Hanson Taylor for a good 10 minutes just about dogs and about life and how they moved They moved away from Hollywood because they didn't want to raise their kids in that world.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what a nice, down-to-earth guy, and was so cool. It wasn't like, hey, like, get your dog off of me kind of thing.
Right.
And then very recently, like I'm talking a month or two ago, I was shooting a show for Netflix that's coming out next year called I Will Find You. It's the latest Harlan Coben novel that's been adapted into a one-series thriller. And I couldn't find a dog sitter because it was a last-minute call.
You called Hanson.
I called Taylor from Anson. He flew up and he watched my dog. So I brought coffee to set, and I'm in the makeup trailer, and I'm like in the makeup trailer, and they had to lock the chair because I'm holding Coffee's leash and she's pulling while they're trying to do my makeup. So
no.
the makeup artist is like, oh, it's fine. You can like let her go. Like everyone's cool with dogs in here. I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah, just you can let the leash go.
And Coffee's so lovable.
She is. I let the leash go, and immediately she runs into, I didn't know there was like an adjoining trailer. The makeup trailer kept going.
Oh.
And she was out of sight, and she ran in there, and I'm like, oh, what's in there? Like and I just want to make sure there's no food or anything she can get to. And they're like, oh, it's just more people getting their makeup done. I'm like, okay, no worries. I finished getting my makeup done, and I just go to get her. I go into the adjoining trailer, and who do I see on all fours rubbing Coffee's belly is the beautiful, the stunning, the talented Britt Lauer, who is the star of this, one of the stars of this show. You might know her from Severance.
Yes, big star.
She's like, whose dog is this? And I'm like, it's me. This is Coffee. And she was just so into Coffee and was so sweet with her. And I'm like, I can't believe I was pretty jealous of Coffee.
Yeah, right?
I was like, Britt Lauer's rubbing your belly. I'm like, I've never wanted to be Coffee so badly.
Were you looking for that twinkle in her eye so that you could ask her out too?
I think I learned my lesson from the Gugu Mbatha Raw experience, so I did not even try to go down that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, Coffee the Pooch, like bringing people together.
She's the greatest wingman since Pooja Honda.
I'm pretty good.
I'm
pretty good.
You were back when we used to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you don't want me anywhere near
Well,
anybody.
now it's I can't get you out of your house.
Plus the small talk is really bad. It's really deteriorated over the years. I'm trying to think of who else. I think, Spike Lee is somebody else who also just is somebody that I was so nervous to interview. I've never been that nervous to interview anyone.
I remember you that day and you were nervous. Yeah.
Oh, I was nervous the night before. I went over my notes 1,000 times. He was in town to promote Chirac. And he's Spike Lee. Spike Lee, I mean, people have studied his films in courses, right? Just because he's such a genius.
Legend.
Yeah. And it's just, he's the type who is very thoughtful. So if your questions are not thoughtful, he'd call you out. He's that kind of person.
And the show was live. It's not like pre-recorded where they can edit it. It was live.
Yes. And, he has every right to call you out. He's talking about serious topics. So I was just so afraid of that happening. We ended up doing the interview. It's fine. He actually appreciated the questions, and I did put a lot of time, energy, thought into the questions. And then we're just ending, and everything was going great. And then he went to go answer something, and it was all about gun control. And he was like, "How much time you got?" And it was about to get like super contentious. And I was like, "And we are out of time," because you cannot talk about gun control without it turning into a passionate exchange,
lengthy,
right? Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was time to go. I had to wrap him up on that. And he kind of gave me the look like, he's like, okay, it's Canada. Well, we have our own gun issues, but it's not like it is in the U.S.
Yeah.
So that could have went sideways. Luckily, it did not.
You got out at the right time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
but
nice.
I'm still one of those like highlights of my career was interviewing Spike Lee.
That's awesome. Yeah. That definitely is a highlight. I got a couple more for you. I was on, you remember the show Monk with Tony Shalhoub?
Yes.
Yeah, so they made a Monk movie where they filmed my scene at the Aga Khan Museum here in Toronto. This was a couple of years ago. So, you audition for these roles, and then sometimes you find out you land it and you shoot like weeks or months later. So I auditioned for this before my ski injury, and I landed it. And I found out I landed it.
But you didn't land it so well on the ski hill. But anyway.
No, definitely not. And I found out I was shooting this after my ski injury, and this was like immediately after the surgery. So I was in that. I don't know if you remember. I had a full like black locking leg brace,
like a brace. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was on crutches, and like my leg had to be locked out, so very slow to get around. I wasn't meant to be sort of sitting down.
So when you sat, you couldn't bend your knee. You had to like leave your leg out straight.
Leave it out straight, and you're not meant to like be on your feet much. You're meant to sort of just be taking it easy. But I didn't want to like pass on this role after I'd landed it, because I might land 1 or 2 gigs a year. You don't want to pass them, right? So I just chose not to tell them. I'm like, do I have to disclose this? I didn't even tell my agent.
Right.
I just showed up on set on the shoot day, which was about, I think, 3 weeks after my surgery. And I show up on set and I get to my trailer and the assistant director is like, what's this?
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, I had a bit of an injury. Like, they're like, are you going to be able to? I go, yeah, I'll be fine. I can, I can still wear a suit. And they're like, yeah, but what about this brace? I go, yeah, the brace goes over the suit. And they looked immediately concerned. Then I run into Tony Shalhoub, the star. I run into Monk. And he's like, you're our news anchor? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what happened to you?
Oh, no.
I go, I had a ski injury. Oh, it's no big deal. I didn't tell them I had reconstructive knee surgery and it was going to be a 2-year recovery.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to downplay it.
Plus, you don't want everybody on set talking about you and your injury and like, what are we going to do about that guy? You don't want to be the subject. You actually just don't want to be talked about.
I was just hoping they'd think I was a trooper for showing up. Not like, what is this guy doing? Anyway, again, it was hurry up and wait. I'm sitting in the trailer all day. And then eventually when I get to set, they had to add a news anchor desk to my scene.
Oh, no.
So that it covered up the lower half of my body.
So if I watched that episode, I wouldn't know that you had a brace on your leg.
I hope not. I don't think so. Yeah, you'll see me. I'm at the desk. My scene involves 2 other actors, 2 of the main actors from Monk, and I'm interviewing them on an anchor desk. And yeah, I'm in a massive knee brace just immediately after my surgery, in pain because that scene took forever to shoot.
Yeah, I was going to ask how long did it? Because these things are never fast, right?
Hours, and it was a hot day. It was summer. We were outside. It was like I was in a suit. Like I definitely was ready for that one to be over. But I'm glad I pushed through it.
And it was one of those things where you're like, I'm not about to complain about how long I have to sit here because they got me an anchor desk.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
it's the divaest I've ever been.
Okay, this one was probably the most ridiculous interview I've ever conducted. Because it involved a game of tag.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Do you remember when Ed Helms and
John Hamm,
and crew, they started the movie Tag?
It was called Tag.
It was called Tag. And they all showed up and, they're all big stars. And they were like, let's just play tag.
That was how they were promoted, which is a pretty good vehicle to promote.
Yeah. So, and that was based on a true story, that film of a group of guys who get together and they play tag. You're it for all of these years. So it was a great story. We talked a little bit about the film and then they're like, tag, you're it.
They were running around the newsroom.
We were running around. It's like
a working newsroom.
I was running around with John Hamm. It's just, it was nuts. And I wore a dress that day, which wasn't smart. So of course I got tagged very easily, but so much fun. And it was one of those things where it continued behind the scenes. Like the camera stopped rolling and we kept playing tag. So it was so fun.
Tag is just one of those games that turns you into a kid again,
it
right?
Totally
you get
does,
super competitive.
which I think was the point, was to bring out sort of that inner child. So it was nice.
I'll finish up on this. This is a story I've never really told on air and I'm still not sure if I should be telling it. It's probably the most inappropriate of the stories.
We may edit this out.
Okay, well, I'll tell it anyways. This is why I love the podcast.
When you start a sentence with that, we may have to edit it out.
Okay, so the biggest production I've ever done was a movie that I can say I was in an Oscar-winning movie. Isn't that crazy? I don't have an Oscar, but I was in a movie that won an Oscar.
You should have got one.
I should have got one.
I'll sign the petition.
The movie Arrival.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, with
it's a big film.
Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. So when you land these things, they're often under a different title. You don't know how big something's going to be. You just go and do it and do your best, okay? So this industry is so last minute. So my agent calls me on a Monday for something I auditioned 4 weeks ago. And she goes, you landed this movie called A Story of Our Life. That was the working title at that time.
Okay.
I go, great. And she goes, you're shooting this Saturday. I'm like, oh, great. It's in Montreal. I'm like, not so great. So on the Friday, there was a big annual gala called Motion Ball, which you and I attend. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to miss it because I had only gone once and I had a great time because it's just full of fun, young professionals, beautiful people. Was single at the time, still single. And it's just a great place to meet people. Right. And I had told all my buddies about it and I convinced like a bunch of friends to buy tickets. I was hosting the pre-get together. We were all leaving from mine. A couple people were going to stay over at my place. It was a whole thing. So
oh my gosh. Remember those days when we did like Pre-game?
Yeah. Now it's just naps. So I didn't want to cancel on all my friends. I didn't want to miss this party. So the plan was, my agent goes, you're going to fly out Friday to go to Montreal and you shoot Saturday. So I go, look, I got something Friday I can't get out of. Can you get me a Saturday morning flight? And she reworked things, whatever. Wasn't happy doing it, but she got me a Saturday morning, 6 a.m. flight
No.
But I'm like, I'm in my early 30s at this point. That's fine. I'm like, I'll take it deep. I'll go hard and then I'll make it there. That's fine. I can do it. So, and I didn't want to compromise any of the night. So I stayed at Motion Ball till 2 a.m.
You didn't want to compromise any of the
Any
night.
of the
Not
night.
for a job.
After party at my place goes till about 4 a.m.
No.
And finally, a couple buddies who stayed over, I'm like, you guys crash. I gotta get like half an hour of sleep. I slept for half an hour. I got up. I had my outfit already packed, my little suitcase, just going for a night. It's the middle of winter. It's freezing. I leave my buddy my keys. I go, sleep to whenever you want. Lock up, leave it with the concierge. I get a taxi to the island airport. Get on a flight in the middle of winter. There's me and one other person on the plane.
Oh my God.
And it's freezing on this plane. And I'm going, what is this? And before they take off, they go, can the two people on the plane please move to the back of the plane for weight distribution issues? And I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm like, I do not want to be here. I am, and I'll say this, I'm still very intoxicated. We drank a lot of alcohol that night, and I slept for half an hour. So I'm still like, I shouldn't be doing anything at this point.
But you're like, I'll sleep on the plane.
I'll sleep on the plane. And this is the one time where I'm excited about the industry being hurry up and wait. Because every production I've been in is you get to set nice and early. They don't need you for hours.
Right.
You're in your trailer in a little single like dorm room bed. I'm like, that's perfect. I'm going to get to set. I'm going to sleep it off.
Right.
I'll wake up in several hours when they need me. I'll have something to eat. I'll get to set. I'll be good.
Okay.
That's how everything has gone up until this point. Of course, I land. I get there. This lovely Frenchman picks me up at the airport. And I go, so what's the thing here? Do I go to my hotel? Do you need me on set? He goes, oh, no, they need you on set. Let's go. I'm like, okay. We
Very
go.
good accent.
Yeah, thank you. I get to my trailer. I'm like, thank goodness. I get to my trailer, lay down on the bed. My head's down on the bed for 30 seconds, and I hear,
No.
oh, God.
No.
It's like, they need you in hair and makeup. I'm like, okay. So I go to hair and makeup, and I didn't. Always have to show up clean shaven. I didn't shave because I'd been. So the woman looks at me. She goes, "What is this?" And I go, "I didn't get a chance." I go, "If you give me a razor, I'll go into it." She goes, "No, sit back." She kicks a button on the chair. The chair reclines. She's lathering up my face. She's shaving my face. I'm like, "This is amazing." Instantly fell asleep.
Okay, nice.
But then that's like 3 minutes, and then she's done, and then she does my makeup. Go back to
You're
my.
like, can you do my legs too?
Honestly, seriously. Go back to my trailer. I'm like, okay. Hair makeup's done. I'm going to try and just sleep carefully to not mess up the hair. So try and sleep. 2 minutes later.
No.
We need you in wardrobe. I'm like, oh, God. Go put on a suit. Now hair, makeup, wardrobe, all done. We'll go back to my trailer. Finally, I'm going to sleep very carefully. Lay down. 2 minutes later. We need you on set. We're going to shoot your scene. I'm like, oh, God.
No.
So I
Have
go.
you eaten anything?
So I'm glad you asked. On the way to set, they had a bagel cart. I grabbed a bagel, lathered it up with butter, and just started eating it. Just try and soak up some alcohol. I'm still drunk. It's like 11 a.m. at this point, right?
Oh, no.
And I haven't slept. And I get to set. And they had filmed the entire movie by this point. They just were doing the scene with all. If you've seen the movie, there's a bunch of news anchors pop up on screen in like a pattern. And so they're shooting a bunch of news anchors that day. And I get to set. And who is there in person because he is such a meticulous director and worker? I did not think he was going to be there. Denis Villeneuve. The great Denis Villeneuve is there on set. And I go, Mr. Villeneuve, nice to meet you. And I'm about to introduce myself. And he goes, Gurdeep Ahluwalia, Sports Center. This is when I was on Sports Center.
Wow.
And he knew who I was. He knew who I saw him doing that to all the, like there were reporters from Global, from CTV, and he was introducing himself to all of them. He knew who everyone was. This is how prepared he was.
Well,
and meanwhile, I
so unprepared.
I got whiskey breath. I'm great at memorizing things. I'm sitting in my trailer I could not memorize the lines because I'm still drunk.
Oh no.
And thank goodness. He goes, there's a teleprompter on set. Are you okay reading teleprompter? And I'm like, thank the lucky stars.
Yes.
All my lines are in a teleprompter, and that's what I do every day for work. I go, yeah, I'm cool with prompter. I get up there, 2 takes. He gives me a little direction about my pacing. 1 more take. He goes, you nailed it. That's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
I get off set. I'm done by like 2 o'clock. This is fantastic. Go to my hotel. Now I should sleep because I got a 6 a.m. flight to go back the next day.
Yeah.
Watch the Leaf game, get some dinner. I should go right to bed. And as I'm walking back to my hotel after dinner, middle of winter, I see a guy outside the hotel in like a coat and shorts, and he's hacking a cigarette. And I go, that guy looks familiar. Who's that guy? And I've seen him on set. He's another one of the actors. And I go, hey, you were in Arrival too. I guess we're all staying at the same hotel. He's like, yeah, I know nothing about this guy. He introduced himself. He goes, yeah, I was the televangelist guy. I was like, oh, cool. What are you doing tonight? I got a wife and kids. I'm just going to go to bed early. I got to wake up and catch the 6 a.m. flight. What about you? I go, yeah, I really didn't get sleep last night. I should probably do the same. And then there's a moment of silence. And then I go, I don't know what, again, this is me at 31, 32. I go, you want to meet back down here in an hour? Hit Rue St. Catherine, go to the bar?
Come on.
And he's smoking a cigarette and he goes, he starts putting out, he goes, yeah, I'll meet you back here in half an hour.
Oh my
Go
gosh.
upstairs, shower, meet this stranger back downstairs.
You okay?
We took it deep till 2:30 in the morning.
No, you didn't.
I slept for 2 hours, caught the flight, go back to Toronto. You think I could sleep it off? No, you know what it was? It was Super Bowl Sunday, and I was hosting SportsCenter. I went straight to work, hosted SportsCenter on Super Bowl Sunday, and that's something I will never do again.
Okay, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. We do not want any of that on this show.
So when you watch Arrival and you see me, that's the state I was in. And now I would never do it again. I would take the sleep, I would skip the party, and I would prioritize everything.
Have you watched it back to see if you can tell?
Many times.
And you can't?
I can't. I think it's their post-production is wonderful. They added a lot of color to my face because that's probably as white and pale as I've ever been.
You're like, there was a filter, there was something going on, or maybe, just maybe, you're a better actor than you think.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, why don't we connect with someone who has been around a lot more celebrities than you and I?
Yes. We're going to call him celebrity photographer. I mean, he's got lots of different titles. George Pimintel is with us and has a lot of stories.
The George Pimintel.
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Celebrity photographer George Pimintel joins us, who has the Best of TIFF pop-up gallery. It's a public exhibition of 50 of Pimintel's most memorable TIFF photographs, showcasing decades of red carpet glamour and behind-the-scene moments. And George joins us now. So, George, what photos should folks make sure they check out at your pop-up gallery?
Well, listen, I've been photographing this for 32 years, so it was very difficult to pick all the... There's just so many photos, but we have Brad Pitt and Angelina. We have like Lady Gaga. We have J-Lo, Tom Cruise, Al Pacino's, a little bit of everything. Okay, so there's the only thing that is there is A-list. That's all I'm going to say.
Oof, that's very exciting. That's a good tease. So, George, Pooja and I have been lucky enough to be around many celebrities in our career. We have friends who've been around celebrities because of this industry we work in, but we do not know anyone who's been around more celebrities than you. And this is a celebrity podcast. We want to know, out of everyone you shot, has there ever been a moment, something interesting that happens off camera, an interaction, positive or negative, that has happened with a celebrity that pops to your mind?
So you want the dirt. You want
well, not necessarily. It could be someone who is uncommonly kind. It could be that too.
Listen, I'll say Alec Baldwin is not my favorite. I'll be honest with you. He's just always like a grumpy old man. Okay. But the best in the business are the Lady Gagas, believe it or not, Johnny Depp. We have Tom Cruise. You can't get better than that. You know, listen, I had a little run-in with, Julia Roberts. She kind of like, maybe I got bit because I got a little too close. I got the finger point, but it is what it is. But
Which
she still
finger?
has that Julia Roberts smile. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But sometimes Sandra Bullock is another one that if you get too close, she might bite you a little bit. So, but in the end, it's all good. I've had an incredible 32-year career at TIFF. It's been like a wild ride. It just doesn't, my first photo was Robert De Niro at the Elgin Theater. I knew nothing about the business, and I had a camera, and the security guard said, "Media, come on over here, stand here." So I got really lucky to get this epic shot of De Niro.
Wow. From those beginnings to what we see now. And when it comes to your photos, like you said, it's probably hard to just pick one as your favorite. Like, you love all your children, I know. However, is there one photo that you get asked about the most?
You know, it's funny. I have this photo of Lady Gaga, and it's really strange because when Gaga was here for The Star Is Born, she had this veil on, and I was roaming the carpet, and it was kind of weird because when she got out of the carpet, she just listened to everything I said. I was like, over the shoulder, and like, let's get shots with the fans, and she was just listening to me. And then she asked me, like, when should I take off this veil? And I'm like, I'm not her publicist. Like, what is she talking to me for? And in the end, she slowly, like, she gave me the shot. She just walked up on the middle of the carpet. She waited, and she just unveiled this mesh on her face, and everybody went nuts. And I got the photo, and that photo just went everywhere.
Oh, I love to hear that. So that sounds like a surprising moment. What is the most surprising celebrity interaction you have? Maybe something like that where they were, again, uncommonly kind, or did something you just didn't expect, or had so much time for you and you weren't anticipating it.
You know, it's funny. Like, you have to be very careful also with Jennifer Lopez, okay? Like, she is, like, I don't want to say, like, she's a diva, okay? We all know that, right? I mean, when someone walks around and has a 24-hour video crew around her 24/7, you got to know what to expect, right? But, you know, like, I love J-Lo, but, like, she's really into herself. And, you know, she makes sure as soon as that photo is taken, she wants to see it. And she wants to prove it, and she wants to make sure the light is perfect on her face, and her makeup is great. You know, so it's you got to love her for it.
Well, speaking of J-Lo, and I'm sorry, for me, this was a moment. I'm sure it was for you too. That revenge dress 2 weeks after her divorce from Ben Affleck. Tell me about that moment, because I heard an audible gasp from the people who watched her walk out in that dress.
Well, I'll tell you something. When J-Lo was coming in, I had to clear that carpet, and it is a mess on that carpet. Okay, it is so many people, so I had to clear that carpet. I wanted that epic shot of J-Lo on the carpet, nobody in the background. I go to her people, and they're like, I want to do this shot, and they're like, okay, we're on it. We get J-Lo. As soon as she gets on the carpet, the hair and makeup people are surrounding her, they're tweaking her, they're adjusting her, and then all of a sudden she's like, looks at me and she goes, "Where do you want me?" And I'm like, all right.
Loaded question.
Right. And there I am. And I'm shooting and I'm, blasting away. And the flash bulb's going off, and she knows her angles. Let me tell you. Okay. And you can see the photo. In the end, that photo ran. And the beauty of it is that she actually tagged me on her Instagram. Wow. And I was, stopped on the street going, "Hey, congratulations." I'm like, "For what?" But that J-Lo, you can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong.
Let's finish up on a positive note here. You had mentioned Tom Cruise, and I've heard stories from people about how this guy is just such a pro. I mean, he's the biggest Hollywood star in the world, but apparently he treats everyone on set and on these carpets like $1 million. Give me a Tom Cruise story.
The 100%. Tom Cruise, by far, he works very hard at it. Very hard. He makes sure he shakes everyone's hands. He does selfies. I mean, I remember Tom Cruise. He's the type of guy that will shake your hand and look you right in the eye and engage. And it's real and it's honest. And he's just really a really super guy.
I got to ask you, because it's 50 years that they're celebrating with TIFF. You've been doing this for 32 years. What have you noticed in terms of changes of the festival over all those years? Well,
just the capacity of crowds now. I mean, I just remember, 1993, I walked on a carpet with 5 photographers. And, now it is, I have 3, look at King Street. It's booming. It is just, Toronto is happening. And to be honest with you, I'm just so proud. I'm still doing this. And, the fact that every A-list star has come through Toronto, and this film festival just makes culturally the city like an A-list city, just like the A-list stars.
And George, everyone in Hollywood biz and also in our biz always says there's a common phrase when we're going to an event or a TIFF thing where it's like, it's an honor to be shot by George Pimintel.
True.
And Pooja and I are lucky enough to have been shot by George Pimintel many times, celebrity photographer. Thank you for doing this. Happy TIFF. Happy 50.
Thank you.
We'll see you out there on the red carpets.
Thank you. Can't wait to photograph you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Listen to Pooja and Gurdeep live weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Only on 98.1 CHFI.
Toronto's perfect music mix.